The OKC Thunder averaged the most steals ever by a team in NBA history at 12.2 takeaways per game. This unbelievable stat has led them to the best defensive rating in the NBA, holding teams to just 104 points per night. Their defensive prowess was put on full display against Luka Doncic, arguably the best scorer in the NBA. They limited him to just 16 points on 5 of 15 shooting. Even when Luka Doncic struggles to score, he typically compensates with his elite playmaking. However, the Thunder shut that down too, holding him to just 5 assists while forcing 6 turnovers. To start the game, the Thunder did not allow Luka to gain a rhythm, as here Cason Wallace comes up with a block on his jump shot. Now with Lu Dort on Luka Doncic, he's not able to get a clean look, as Dort makes a smothering contest. So Luka gets into his playmaking mode, and the Thunder are quick to shut that down as well, as they quickly force 2 turnovers out of Luka. Now it's Alex Caruso on Doncic, and he gives him 0 airspace and is able to force another miss. Every time Luka tried to advance the ball, he wasn't able to hit his usual targets, as here Kenrich Williams makes the intercept. Now with the Mavericks attempting to run some actions to get Luka a better matchup, they had no luck, as that doesn't exist. As with Kendrick Williams on him, he also makes a good contest. The Thunder have talented defenders all over the board, as here Luka can't even get a rebound without it being stripped away by Dort. Look at the defense on this play, as Dort is able to hold his ground on Luka, backing him down, so Doncic goes to the fall-away jumper, and Lu Dort reads it perfectly, forcing him into an impossible attempt. So the Mavericks tried to counter this, as they started playing Luka minutes he wouldn't usually play, which then only got Doncic further out of rhythm, as in the third term he looked so out of sorts, making bad passes and missing gettable shots. This play here basically sums up the OKC defense, as here it's your best player breaking up an alley-oop attempt. Holding an MVP caliber player and the NBA's best scorer in check sends a strong message to the rest of the league. This OKC defense is elite, and it's only going to improve. What's even scarier is the fact that they've accomplished all of this without their defensive anchor, Chet Holmgren. Holmgren was among the league leaders in blocks per game, averaging 2.6. His return will elevate OKC's rim protection and overall defense. Adding Isaiah Hartenstein was a masterstroke by the Thunder's front office. He complements the roster by filling critical gaps, as last season the Thunder were one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the NBA, while now they're up near the top. His short role playmaking on offense and defensive versatility should blend seamlessly with Chet Holmgren, making OKC's interior defense even more formidable. But it's on the perimeter where they're perhaps even more dangerous, as they have countless great to elite point of attack defenders such as Lu Dort, SGA, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, and the recently acquired Alex Caruso. This Thunder defense is in your face, getting to seemingly every loose ball, they're in every passing lane, while not having any one guy who can't defend at a high level. In the current NBA, you're only as good as your worst defensive player in crunch time, as it's not uncommon to see teams hunt mismatches towards the end of games. But when you're looking at this OKC starting lineup, SGA would be their worst defender, but the thing is, he's not even close to being a bad defensive player. His guard-like quickness and long arms make him a solid defensive player who is able to do more than just hold up in a one-on-one situation. This was another weakness of the Thunder's last season, as Josh Giddey was their worst defender, and the Mavericks continued to pick on him all throughout the series. So now not having a defensive weakness in that starting 5 makes this team very difficult to deal with down the stretch. But having an elite defense is only half of the battle in today's NBA. Gone are the days where Bill Russell's Boston Celtics could win championships with the league's best defense, while simultaneously having the league's worst offense. In the modern game, a balanced attack is essential for serious contention. After a slow start offensively, the Thunder have surged into the NBA's top 10 offenses, now ranking 8th by scoring 116 points per night. This recent offensive explosion has been fueled by a remarkable 5-game stretch where they averaged 123 points a night, a mark that would make them the NBA's best offense. What's making the Thunder even more dangerous is their ability to sustain the defensive impact over this stretch also, holding teams to just 106 points per game, which made them the league's best offense and defense at the same time over this stretch. This elite two-way performance has transformed them into a formidable contender, a top 10 offense paired with a top 10 defense is a proven blueprint for a modern title. And the Thunder's league best net rating, outscoring opponents by an average of 12 points per game, really show you just how dangerous this team is on both sides of the ball. But what is truly astonishing is the fact that the Thunder's current net rating is the second best in the history of the league, only trailing the legendary 1996 Chicago Bulls, led by Michael Jordan. It ranks higher than historically dominant teams like the 1997 Bulls, the 2017 Golden State Warriors, the Big Three Boston Celtics, and even last year's NBA champion Celtics. They've surpassed iconic teams such as the 1971 Milwaukee Bucks, led by young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the 1972 Los Angeles Lakers, powered by a Big Three of Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, and Elgin Baylor. What makes this even more impressive is the fact that the Thunder haven't played fully healthy for a single game this season. Despite missing key players, they're already producing at a historic level, placing themselves in conversations with some of the greatest teams the sport has ever seen. It feels like we've been overlooking just how special this Thunder team truly is. Once Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein share the floor together, their defense could reach an entirely new level. The Thunder have the flexibility to play them together as a dominant front court or stagger their minutes to always have one elite rim protector on the floor, a nightmare for opposing offenses. While Holmgren has already proven to be one of the league's best shot blockers, Hartenstein might be the better overall defensive player. Despite standing nearly the same height, 7'1" for Holmgren and 7 foot for Hartenstein, their defensive styles are distinctly different due to physical differences. Holmgren weighs 213 pounds, giving him the agility and shot blocking finesse, while Hartenstein at 250 pounds brings the strength and a commanding post presence. This makes him one of the best low post defenders in the NBA, a critical asset against dominant Western Conference bigs such as Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, Domantas Sabonis, and Victor Wembanyama. Having a strong defensive matchup for Jokic in particular could prove to be crucial if the Thunder face off against Denver in the playoffs. The only notable concern with Hartenstein is his tendency to get into foul trouble. However, with Holmgren ready to step in at any given moment, this issue becomes far less worrisome, given the Thunder's unmatched defensive stability. Even when the Thunder were down both Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein, leaving them without a true center, their ability to adapt was put on full display. In response, they turned to Jalen Williams, who stepped up in a remarkable way, playing as the team's center despite standing 6'6". This showcased his incredible versatility and willingness to take on any role the team needs, and he was actually pretty good in the role. Williams has taken a massive leap this season by averaging 21.8 points per game on an efficient 56% effective field goal percentage. To grasp just how impressive this is, let's compare his numbers to the reigning Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown. While Brown scores more, Williams surpasses him in nearly every other statistical category. He's more efficient, a better playmaker, and according to the data, has a higher impact on winning. What makes Williams even more valuable is how he seamlessly fits alongside stars like SGA and Chet Holmgren when he's in the lineup. His combination of size, skill, and versatility perfectly rounds out the Thunder's starting five, providing the playmaking, defensive switchability, and the scoring the team needs. His emergence has transformed the Oklahoma City Thunder into one of the most dynamic and dangerous teams in the association, solidifying their status as one of the NBA's most complete rosters. Upon polling my YouTube audience about the Thunder, only reinforced just how good this team is. First, I asked who would finish as the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, and an overwhelming 81% of voters picked OKC. Many even questioned if this was actually a legitimate question or not. That's how good the Thunder are right now. With the Thunder currently on pace for a 67-win season, I followed up by asking my viewers if they would reach a 67-win season. While only 16% believed that they would reach 67 wins, an impressive 49% predicted a 60 to 66 win season. Hitting 60 wins is no small feat, historically reserved for the best teams in the history of the NBA. Looking back, some people compared OKC's offseason signing of Alex Caruso to Golden State's acquisition of Andre Iguodala. While initially I was skeptical, I'm fully convinced now. Caruso's veteran leadership combined with Isaiah Hartenstein's presence has added invaluable experience and toughness to the roster. With a playoff run already under their belts and the young core continuing to develop, this Thunder team looks more than ready to contend for a championship this season. But that's just my take. Who do you think think has the best chance to beat OKC in a 7-game series out in the Western Conference? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section below.